Hi everybody, just want to show you a quick way to make an envelope. If you don't want to go and buy your own envelopes and you want to make your own, I want to show you how to measure and how to cut a simple envelopes. Okay, so basically you go with your card size. If this is your card, go ahead and measure it. So if this is A2 side, it's going to be 4 1/4 here, from here to here, and it's going to be 5 1/2 from here to here. Right. So now the envelope will have to be a little wider than that for it to sit in there, right? So it'll have to be at least a 1/4 inch more on each side. Okay, so a good thing to do is just add between a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. If you add a 1/4 inch to each side, you're going to have an 1/8 inch space, which is enough in most cases if you have a flat card and it's simple. If you have a thick card, you may want to add a little more. Okay, so if we're adding a 1/4 inch to each side, the 5 1/2 plus a 1/4 inch will be 5 3/4. The 4 1/4 plus a 1/4 inch will be 4 1/2. Okay, so these are the basic sides. Now, we said that we want the center to be 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so we're going to cut this. Okay, 4 1/2 and 5 3/4. Now we need a way to close it, right? So we have to add a flap here, and we have to add a flap here. Over here, we have to have something a little longer, and here we have to have something a little longer, because they need not only to meet each other, but they need to overlap so that they can close together. So if this is 4 1/2, the total of these two have to be at least 5 1/2, if not more. Okay, the total of these two. Right, so if it's 5 1/2, you can do it equal. It's 2 3/4 each, or you can do 1 3, one smaller, one shorter. You know, you can have the top part of the envelope. If this is your envelope, you can have a short top part. You can have a longer top part. Or you can have it just in the middle. Decide how long you want it, okay? But if this is shorter, this part here have to be longer, okay? This can be shorter here, and this can be shorter here, or it can be here. It depends where you want it to be. But this part over here always have to be overlapping this one. So make sure that when you close it, it'll close on top of each other. Okay, so let's take the basic measurements. There's one more thing that I will mention, is the thickness. If we are doing a flat card with not too much height, we're gonna just do a single score here. So this way, when it folds, it'll fold flat. But if we're doing something with elements, putting flowers, you know, doing all sorts of things, we want this to have a double score here and here, so that when we're folding it, it'll be wider, more like a box. Okay, so I will show you both ways. So I prepared a few sheets of paper here that are craft color cardstock. You can use craft color cardstock, and you can also use, if you want, regular pattern paper like that, which is also very fun to use if you're doing a card that matches the theme and it's double-sided, or even white if it's white on the other side. Okay, so either one of these are good. So I have some left over here that this is a 6 and 6 3/4 by 12. This is 6 3/4 by 12. Okay, and let's go ahead and mark it. Take my ruler, if I can find it. Where did I put my ruler? Okay. This is not good time for me to lose my ruler. Cannot find it. Oh, it's right on my desk. Okay. Was hiding right under my markers. Okay, so if our card, if we're doing it for A2 cards, right, and we need 5 3/4 here. Let's first of all mark our center. Okay, so find your center and mark it. Okay, this is your center. So this is 6 3/4, right? It's 6 3/4. Now, because I want 5 3/4 wide, okay, it's going to be a 1/2 inch from the left and a 1/2 inch from the right. If it's 6 3/4 and I want 5 3/4 space, it's just taking away an inch. So I'm taking a 1/2 inch on the right and a 1/2 inch on the left. So I'm going to mark the same thing here, a 1/2 inch on the right and a 1/2 inch from the left. One. And 2. I'm using a marker. I would suggest, if you do it, either use a pencil or just score it straight up. You don't even have to. You don't even need to mark anything. I'm using the marker just because I want you to see where I'm going to put my score lines. Okay, so I'm going to score it on both sides here. Okay, then I'm going to turn it over like that. Okay, and I need here the space for the envelope to be 5.5. Now remember I said I want one side to be maybe longer than the other. So perhaps one will be 4. So one can be 4, the other 3.5, or one can be 4.5, and this can be 3. Let's do this one 4.5, and this will be 3. So we'll mark the 4.5 here, 4.5, and here 4.5. And I'll mark 3 from here, and 3 from here. So one score line here at 3 inches, one here at 4.5. Okay, and the middle will give me 4.5 inches. Okay, so if we're going to count it, it's 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9, plus 3 is 12. Okay? So this is where you're going to score. 2 on this side and 2 from here, one longer than the other. The one that you're going to do shorter, you know, you can decide if you want it to be your bottom or the top. It's completely up to you. You know, it does make a difference if you're using something that's right side up. You have to turn it over and say, oh, this is the right side or this is the wrong side. If we're doing a thicker card, like one with elements in it that we need to fit into an envelope, then we're just going to add another score line on the outside, not on the inside, on the outside. So you can add 1/8 of an inch score line here and 1/8 of an inch score line here. Okay? On the outside, one here and one here. Right. So let's go ahead and score. I'm going to switch it to my scoring blade. Here, here, here. Okay, now we can add some things. Now let's say this is your top. You know, you can make it curl, you can make it V, you can make some kind of interesting edge, whatever you want to do. Okay, we can make it straight for now. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, and we're going to cut it. The way that I'm going to cut it, I'm going to take 1/4 inch on the inside from here to here, 1/4 inch from the inside of the scoring line. And again here on the inside, not here, here. About 1/4 inch here and here. And I'm going to mark a diagonal. Okay. To here. to the real spot here, not the second score line, the first score line. So this line is going to be sort of erased and not needed because I'm going to cut it. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, on the inside, I marked it. Okay. Then we can go ahead and cut them. Take our scissors, and I'm going to cut at the diagonal lines up to the point where those lines meet. Turn around. Do the same thing here. And here. Okay. I'm going to cut it straight for now because I want to show you something after that. So you can cut it straight, but I like to do it a little bit more in a diagonal. I don't like it to leave it straight because I think that it will show a little bit. So instead of cutting it straight on the line, over here I'm going to go in a 45-degree angle from here to here. The same thing from here to here. It's going to go in a diagonal from here to here and from here to here. Okay, 45-degree diagonal. And here you go. So now we have our outline of the envelope ready. And you have the score line, so we can go ahead and fold. Okay, so if you're folding once, you're going to have a flat envelope if you're folding once. You can do this on the bottom and this will close this way. Or you can do it this way. But if you're doing it this way, this will be too close and I would just cut it a little bit smaller than that. Okay, I think it's just a little too long, so I will do something fun. We can take another blade. Actually, for my Creative Memories cutter, I have a blade that will cut interesting shapes. So let's put it on the 1-inch line. Okay, I just want to show you. It has a little wiggly line. See? Kind of interesting. Something a little different. If it's a little thicker envelope, you have double score line, and you just fold it once more. Okay, so you have now an 1/8 of an inch thickness, like a square that is 1/8 of an inch wide. So that will give you an envelope that will accommodate a little bit of height on your card. Okay, so this is my envelope. I'm going to go ahead and glue the bottom part to the flap. So I'm taking my glue. I'm gluing the corners here, just close to the edge. And I don't put it all the way. Okay, and that will be my envelope. In order to close it, we can do a couple of things, you know, simple. You can put a sticker here to keep it closed. You can put double-side tape here and close, or regular glue. Or another thing that you can do is you can punch a hole and wrap it around. This is also kind of cute. Unless, I mean, if you're shipping it by mail, you don't want anything added to it. But it's another fun way to close it. Okay, that's it. That's your envelope with a regular printed paper that you have. So all the leftover cardstock or scrapbooking paper that you have, don't throw it away. You can go ahead and make envelopes for it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, and the same thing with the smaller piece of paper. Let's go ahead and make one. Okay. And open it up. So I'm going to cut it to 6 3/4. That's all. I just trimmed it to 6 3/4. Okay. I'm going to take my score tool and I'm going to score a 1/2 inch on the right, half inch on the left, I'm going to take 3 inches, okay, and it's 7 1/2. If you want it wider, you're going to go and do another one at 2 7/8. So you have one at 2 7/8 and one at 3. And then you have one at 7 1/2, and then one at 7 3/8. You're going to go and trim the edges. And from a 1/4 inch on the inside. And 45-degree angle. Same thing here, 45-degree angle. And there we go. So this is if I want to do double score for a thick envelope. This is how it will fold. And this is where it will get glued. If I want a thinner envelope, I'm just not going to do double score. I'm just going to fold it this way on one score line and then glue it, and then it's a flatter envelope. I'm gonna now glue my wider side on the bottom, and then the shorter side will be the top. A little bit of glue. And here we have an envelope. So this is from a plain paper. Then you can go ahead and you can decorate it if you want. You can put things on it, you know, write on it, do whatever you want. Okay, so here we have a few envelopes that I made, and you can just go ahead and put this right into the envelope. Okay, when you do put it in, just make sure that you put it in carefully. Press down. If you have elements that are coming out, make sure they don't get squished, that they fit comfortably in, and then you just close it. Okay. Here's one that is a little flatter. It has less elements here. Still have some, but not too much. You know, you can go right in there like this. This just doesn't match, but plain envelope, it'll be nice. And you just fit it right in. And look, looks perfect. Here's one in white. It has a lot of elements on it. It's kind of wide, but if you make the envelope wide enough and double scored, it'll fit in perfectly. Okay, I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know how you like it. If you used it, leave me a comment. Don't forget to like and share. And thank you so much for joining me again. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.